Well, good afternoon and welcome to Northern Maine Productions. Happy Labor Day. I'm going to work on something a little different here today. We're going to see if we can't resurrect this 1955 Wisconsin BKN. This is a 7 horsepower engine. No rewind on this old motor. This is the way this came from the factory. The issue I was having with this the last time I tried to run this was the gas tank is leaking, and I just took the sediment bowl off there. That's got a glass bowl on it. The gasket's all shot and that. The gas tank has got quite a lot of rust in it, inside of it, so this engine's got a Fairbanks Morse magneto on it, and the last time I ran this, it did actually work. This motor ran really good when I first resurrected this about 10 years ago, but you know how things go, stuff just kind of gets abandoned, and that's how it happens. This thing's been sitting here for a number of years and hasn't been run, and now, so we're going to just quickly check this and see if that magneto sparks. And that appears to me to have really strong blue fire on it, so that's good. This should have a new cover put on the side of this. This cover's cracked on this, and I siliconed it up the last time I had it off there. It's never actually sat out in the weather, but it sat in my dirty old garage for a long time. Man, this thing, I cleaned this engine up and painted it about 10 years ago, and you'd never know it. And the sad part is, it's never really run. It only run it maybe an hour or so at the most. This one's got the standalone throttle lever on it, which does work very well. The governor worked very good on this. These engines are pretty robust engine compared to like a Briggs & Stratton, compared to like what we're seeing nowadays. Of course, it's a flathead design. It's all cast iron. The whole block of it's cast iron. It has roller bearings in it. It does have an oil pump in it. Probably it wouldn't be a bad idea to take the base off of this thing and actually make sure that the oil pump screen is actually good and clean in it. I didn't have any issues with it the last time I ran it, but I guess you probably wouldn't know if you were having issues until something catastrophic happened. It's still got the original muffler on it, which is, you know, pretty well expired. The unfortunate part is I don't have the original air cleaner that goes with that thing. The air cleaner has been missing for all the time I've had it. This came off from my next door neighbor's wood splitter, and he stopped using it because he kept having trouble with the gas tank getting full of water, and the gas tank's got rust in it, and of course it got so he couldn't keep it running. He said it was a hassle every time he wanted to split his wood to get this thing started. So I guess probably that magneto was getting wet when it was outdoors too all the time. I do remember the last time I took the cover off that, it looked really good inside. I did clean the points up in it, and there was no issues with it being corroded, but I suppose with this cover being cracked, probably the high voltage was leaking if it got wet, probably. What I'd like to do with this is I'd like to get it to run, and I'm going to mount it on, I'd like to find a small cart to mount this on, along with an alternator and a battery, so I could make a portable battery charger with it. You know, there's always that instance where you're a long ways away from electricity and you need to boost a battery, like in a piece of equipment or something like that, which has happened to me in the past. So I'm gonna start disassembling some of this. I gotta shut the camera off here for a little while because my battery is almost depleted in this thing. So the battery is going to be charging while I'm working on this. But I'll be back. It'll be just a few seconds for you folks. So bear with me here for just a second. Well, so here I am. I've got the fuel tank that I'm going to put on there, put back on. And I put another new fuel line on there, and I used that shutoff that was on that tank. I had to take the shutoff all apart and clean that all out. I'll tilt this thing back. So I took the bowl off from the carburetor, and it wasn't terrible. Bowl was full of that powdery white dust, like it comes from aluminum, you know, the aluminum body of that carburetor. When it's had water in it, it's corroded some. But I took a scuff thing here. I don't know what the frig they call them things. Just a scuff pad, just a copper scuff pad, and I cleaned it up. Just kind of knocked all the loose stuff off of there and blew it all off of the air hose, and then I did the same. The bowl's relatively clean. There's a few little rust spots in the bottom of it there, but basically that bowl's nice and clean. So there's the old needle valve. I don't know if that's got a tapered fit needle valve up in there, if it's actually got a vent and seat up in it, up inside that seat. I don't know. It didn't seem to be having any trouble with it flooding, but I just scuffed the float off just lightly, just to knock all the loose stuff off of that I could. So, you know, you don't want all that loose stuff floating around in your carburetor, because that's what inhibits the fuel flow and that's what makes it run bad. So the less garbage you got floating around in there, the better off you are, because it don't take too much when that stuff starts getting in this little hole down in here in the bottom of this carburetor. It doesn't take long to plug that main jet up, and then the freaking thing won't run. So I'm about ready to put this back together and actually see if it'll actually run. I guess I'm gonna have to maybe drill some holes here and bolt it down to this workbench. It's kind of raining and wet outside today, so. And I think I'm going to have to go get some gas too. So I'm pretty sure I dumped the last of the gas in the lawnmower. But I'll be back. Give me just a few seconds here. Well, we got this thing all back together. Got some gas in it. I went and took the gas tank off one of my snapper lawnmowers and dumped the gas out of that. So I guess, see what happens here. I don't know if she's gonna run or not. I got the engine zap screwed down onto the bench, so hopefully hopefully a whole bunch of stuff don't fall over here. I've never started an engine on this workbench before, so this could prove to be a disaster. She kicked. Well, that ain't so bad. Well, I did choke that a little bit beforehand there and rolled the engine back and forth a couple times, getting some fuel up into the carburetor. So maybe this is gonna, maybe it'll run, maybe it won't. Who knows? Guess I'll try choking it, I guess. Toolbox is kind of chattering here behind me. So yeah, there's a shut-off button right there to kill the fire. See my float bowl gasket sweeping here a little bit. Just don't help that this thing's shaking and rattling quite bad, and that gasket is just completely dried right up in there around that float bowl. I'm hoping maybe in time, if I let that sit there with some gas in it for a few minutes, that might soak up that fuel and expand a little. I don't see any leaks back here. Geez, that started up and running pretty quick. I'll try it again. She's a barky old thing, I can tell you that. Well, there you have it. I guess she's revived. I guess the only thing to do now is let it run and we'll get fully warmed up and change the oil in it, I guess. That's kind of shocking that that runs that good right off the bat. Well, I guess that's probably enough. Probably eventually I'll paint that fuel tank on that to match the rest of it. I don't know if I've still got any red paint left around here or not, but I guess I need to air this place out a little. She stinks. One thing, I don't know if you guys noticed it or not, but there ain't no blue smoke coming out of that engine, and I did verify the thing is full of oil, so that's a pretty good sign. And that thing's got wicked compression. You go pull that, you want to give her a good snap, because she'll snub you right up. It ain't like pulling over a Briggs & Stratton, I can tell you that. But I hope you guys enjoyed this little thing. I just put, instead of having the sediment bowl on there, I just put one of these little Briggs & Stratton fuel filters on here that I had laying here. Obviously I'd put a new one in it if I was going to actually put this in service, but I guess the big thing is I'm going to have to let it sit and see what happens with this float bowl. And I didn't see any distortion down here at the bottom of the bowl, so I'll let her sit there and soak up some gas for a while and see if it quits leaking. I know I've had trouble with my old Briggs & Stratton flatheads doing that some too, but of course this thing's jerking and jiggling pretty bad on this workbench. This bench is not, this bench ain't super solid. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed. Pretty neat look back in time at a 1955 Wisconsin. Pretty common engine, I guess. They made these way up into, from the 1930s, I guess, all the way up into the 1970s. And from what I've seen on the Wisconsin website, you can still buy parts for this thing too, which I'd say is pretty amazing. But well, anyways, have a good afternoon. Bye bye.